Not gonna lie, there was a time when I used to believe that. I was convinced that I only wanted to work with functional programmers because functional programmers are better programmers. And I know others still think this way. Likewise, some believe that C programmers are better than Rust programmers, devs that use AI tools are better than others, and other way around. Reaching that kind of conclusion takes only a few logical missteps, and in my case it was something like this. I care a lot about writing good and reliable software. I consider coding to be a craft. I want to be productive and write maintainable code that delivers value. I don't want to do a sloppy job, introduce preventable bugs, or any tech debt, and especially don't want to get woken up in the middle of the night. And I know that functional programming is a great tool for that. I have years of experience with functional and non-functional languages, and I know I suck at the latter. The other day it took me 3 pull requests or 3 actual deployments to production to ship a trivial change to a Ruby codebase. Maybe that's a special case, maybe it's me. However, I'm sure I write and read Scala code better and faster than Ruby, pure script, then TypeScript and JavaScript, and so on. So in the past, this misdirected me to a naive conclusion. A programmer who cares about writing good, reliable software should use functional programming. In other words, if someone doesn't use functional programming, they don't care, right? Because why someone interested in writing good code chooses not to? Why are they choosing to use inferior tools, do sloppy job, and so on? Well, turns out I am not the programmers, and there are other programmers and there are other people. Just because a tool helps me doesn't mean it helps someone else. People are different, environments are different, abilities are different, and so on. For instance, some people are good at holding many things in their working memory and switching between tasks, but I'm not. When working on something, I easily get distracted by Slack messages, switch contexts, and poof, completely forget what I was doing. I need functional programming. I need those small independent blocks that I can quickly juggle and work with. Also, people have different values and preferences. Take, for example, abstraction and expressiveness. I know those are different concepts, but for now they're close enough to serve a good example. There is plenty of room for choice here. I believe that the typical functional developer is leaning to a greater extent on both. They want more expressiveness, more abstractions, or more level abstractions. Extracting abstractions, reusing functionality, and refactoring data types, among other things, are completely different experiences in languages like Rust and Haskell. Similarly, handling optionality, errors, lists, and asynchronous programming is different in Scala and Java. And if you're not sure where I'm leading with this, if you're not familiar with those or don't care for them, the ordinary opinionated programming thing everybody should know about is generics. We have generic Let's Go, Java generics, Z comp time, and there are plenty of programmers who prefer and are productive with each one. So if we bring it back, there are functional programmers who write good, reliable software, and there are other programmers who write good and reliable software, which is one thing. But the other thing is that if we deceive ourselves with the generic statements like I did, it's easy to forget that there are functional programmers who do not write good and reliable software. And that's the reason I'm choosing this topic, this other extreme. I haven't noticed this in my earlier days, but turns out that quite a number of FP devs just offload their thinking or not thinking onto functional programming, tangential theories, and other standards. It's easy to fall into this kind of attitude. FP is so formal and mathematical and whatever, so let's just over-rely on it and don't reason ourselves. You know, like those people who seriously believe that if it compiles it works, or if it's according to the specification is perfect. Totally shattered my devotion to functional programmers. In other words, if someone is doing foo, it doesn't mean they have values associated with foo, or foo can imply any values in the first place.